Okay, we are rolling right now. You're still doing your thing, but he's trying to get some lighting right. We are boomers in action and don't even mind a bit. I felt flow, so I wanted to go right now. We just got back from Harrison. We had been in town today. And when we got back into town, into Diamond City, where we live, we ran into an acquaintance that we have. And we thought it would probably be a good time to do just a little bit of a rundown about what has been going on here in Diamond City. So we want it documented. And I mean, this is not about just us. There is more than just us. So that's one of the biggest things right now, is that we're finding out more and more about this situation as it unfolds, that this is getting back to the fact that this city government has just been kind of a shit show ever since I've lived here, and since Shanna's lived here longer than I have. So I guess maybe we just start with the fact that we've been gone from Diamond City since August. And when we were going to go, it had been planned for us that we wanted to shut our utilities off, because we knew that we were going to be going more. We've both been actively working towards becoming fully nomadic, and that is what our great desire is, and that's what we've been doing since August. So we have been gone and on the road, and we have been back just a couple of times. I don't know how this is gonna go. Oh, here comes Bill. He's coming in.
Man. Itty boy.
We when we got back it was on Christmas Day actually, and we checked the mail, and there is a letter, and it is not just a strongly worded letter. It was actual criminal accusations towards Shannon, and in regards to tampering with city property. And the language was that you conducted the crime, right? And then it was, and because you did it, no trial, nothing, just their accusation, right? These are your consequences. And it is worded in such a way that it is mind-blowing. Like, we've got the letter. We're going to share all of this. And they basically said, you'll be forcibly removed from your home and levied all these fines by the 1st. Now, we, by chance, came back and got this letter on the 25th of December. So this was supposed to all happen by the 1st, that they were going to show up and forcibly remove. And we have had a series of weird events that have happened since then. They will not take it off of the record. They have admitted that it is all bullshit, because they accused him of taking a lock off, and then they found that the lock was actually on. We were not in town for any of these things to happen. So I'm going to let Shan go for a while, because I'll just keep on going, and you, if you don't mind, jump in.
Yeah, well, it goes back a ways, actually. See, I mean, the whole context is needed to really understand what's going on here. For one, when that COVID thing happened, originally last year, was it 2020, wasn't it? Mm-hmm, January, whatever. Yeah. But when all that began, about that same time, we had been getting a notice in the mail that they was forcibly going to start putting the fluoride into the water supply up here. And that was the only reason I bought my house up here, was because there was no fluoride in the water supply. And it was very passionate issue that most of the community in the Ozarks were firmly against, were any fluoridation of the water sources. And apparently the state done forcibly removed their ability to make such decisions for themselves, or something to that effect, according to these papers we started getting. So I had already decided I'm done here. I'm getting up out of this town anyways, which is why we've pretty much been on the road for the last couple of years, most of the time. But as she mentioned, we've been primarily gone the entire time since August. I think I came in that for like a day that you dropped me off to get the truck, and you headed back out and whatever, because I had to come back up there and get the camper.
I don't
Remember?
know. It doesn't. I don't know.
Anyways,
It was briefly the times
we
that we
drove
stopped
through to get the
in.
truck. Aside from that, and that wasn't even in the time frame when supposedly this water meter had a lock put on it. The water was turned off. So far as we was aware, the water wasn't never even turned off, because when I showed up out here, the water was still trickling in the house. It had like a low flow thing going or whatever it was. And they were saying the lock was cut off of the thing on this letter they had sent me. And I go out here and I'm like, there ain't no lock even cut off the thing. So I'm not sure what it is they're talking about even got cut off. Now, reportedly, after we had got all of this on video, that they came out here immediately after talking to Lisa and tried to get the lock and the water meter up out of here after we pointed out to them that not only was the lock not cut off, it was still, at that point, on the water meter. So literally, as soon as Lisa got home, the water people, the water city, or the city working water people guys, whatever, come out here 10 minutes later.
Within 10 minutes.
Pulling the water meter and the lock.
And the cop.
Getting escorted by the police dude down here. Now, he apparently didn't know what was going on. He caught wind of what was happening and everything, went back down to City Hall. They told him that, no, this was a pass lock that had been cut off long time ago, months ago, apparently. But then they sit there in the same conversation and acknowledge that they know very well that me and Lisa wasn't even in town during the months when all of this even was going on. However, when Lisa went back up there to ask, thinking surely, since they do know that was, if there ever even was a water turn off, a lock put on, a lock cut off, another lock put on. So even if any of this had ever actually happened, they acknowledge that they know very well we wasn't in the state during the entire period of time. So Lisa's assuming they ain't going to leave that on the record. So when she goes up there and it is clarified that no, the accusation and condemnation and sentence and everything stands on record and will not move no matter what. So they've accused me of criminal charges, saying that I am tampering with their devices and cutting off locks and stealing water. All of these things that couldn't have happened because nobody was even here. So, and that's just basically what they're going to levy these charges. At the same time, they start fining me for every day I'm on the property without having my water and utilities and everything else on this property turned on to their satisfaction of what a residential home should look like. And we don't even reside here, which is why we have all these things turned off now. So basically, they're trying to twist my arm, throw criminal charges at me, and force me to pay for a bunch of utilities in a place I don't even reside anymore, just so they can have lucrative tax incentives or tax income coming in from all the local people who live here. Like they're going to force me out of town or to pay them a bunch of money to have things turned on I'm not using because we're not going to be here. As of right now, we sort of had to pay off the $200 water bill that I was going to put off for a little while because it didn't seem like an urgent thing to pay right now. But then, you know, obviously we have all these other charges they're trying to hurl at me. So I figured go ahead and get this water bill squared up. And because of that, at the moment, we're sort of in a stasis trying to figure out what our next play is going to be because we had to spend my extra plan money, which was going to be the gas money for us to hit back out on the road. I just had to give it to the water company. And so right now we're in a bit of a stuck mode. Not sure whether these guys are going to come kick in the door and try to kick us off or if we're going to get gas money and get on down the road. That's where we're at.
Well, yeah, that's the first part, though. Talk about the fact that it is not just us. that this is the thing about the ordinance and the city and them trying to
while we
enforce
was gone,
this on other people as well. We are not the only ones that this is happening to.
While we was gone,
that's
they
our personal
apparently
stuff, like that, which is fine. But this is bigger. Like, this is something bigger going on with Diamond City right now. So,
well, while we was gone, they put forth some ordinance that basically has this huge laundry list of demands that here's what you have to have on your property. Basically, it's like some homeowners association thing. Like, they just arbitrarily declared they're going to tell everybody in town exactly how their yard's going to be, what utilities they have to have turned on, and the dimensions and the look of their homes. Everything is across the board. They're literally trying to treat the whole community like it's a homeowners association. They've just arbitrarily given themselves these privileges to start acting like aristocrats, apparently. And I'm not the only one in town they're coming at, basically trying to run off the undesirables, as they say, you know. So it just so happens there's quite a number of hillbillies in town here who just really ain't trying to hear it no more than I am. So ultimately, the city officials are going to have to step on up and forcibly remove a whole lot of hillbillies from their houses here pretty soon, or put up or shut up, one of the two.
Well, and basically what it comes down to is they're saying if you live here, they put these ordinances out there, and now if you live here, you just got to go by them.
Or else. They will forcibly remove you from your property.
Yep.
And take it.
And that is all. That is all. They've decided that. Now, there's a lot of things like we just learned. Well, I just learned today that in the state of Arkansas, you can't because of all the natural springs. They can't forcibly make people have water. And that's one of these ordinances that the city is doing. They're saying you have to have water. And even if you're not here, you have to be on seasonal water, which is still $40 just to rent their equipment. And we don't live here. We are gone. We're on the road. We don't want to be hooked up to their system because we don't want to be a part of it. And that's going to become even more so with what we are doing going forward. And now this is happening not just to us, but it is the undesirables. And it's basically you got to follow these random laws that the city thinks that they're going to enforce. And, well, I don't know. I got to look into this one about the state thing that says that they can't make you anytime. I haven't heard that one, so.
Yeah, well, to me, it's self-evident. If I don't need them to supply my water, I have no reason to pay them to supply my water. And I don't need them to supply my water because I don't stay here long enough to have water requirements that I should have a city hookup to getting constant water. We're only here briefly, and it just doesn't matter. And even if I wasn't, it's my property. I don't need to listen to their dictates on how I fart in my bathroom on my property. So, to me, it doesn't really matter whether they think they got the rules in their pocket or not. They don't get to arbitrarily start giving themselves powers in a thin air. So, they supposedly vote on them, they say. But literally nobody but their real estate buddies go to their city hall meetings because nobody gives a damn what they say.
And we don't know that about these ordinances. That's another thing that this one gal said today is nobody even knows if these have been voted in. If they've gone to the governor, nobody knows about any of that. So it apparently there is some power hungry behavior. Like I've been physically removed from the city office now. I guess not actually physically removed, but asked to leave. I was made to leave before they called the cops. So I did leave. But now I can't go back, apparently. So I'm not sure. And when I did try to because I said I feel strongly that they should change the wording. It doesn't make any sense to me. You don't just get to accuse a random person of criminal behavior, levy all the charges and if you don't abide by our ruling, which you didn't even know about, like it was by fluke that we ended up back in town and got that letter. If we had not been here, what would have happened? And then they're just randomly acting like it's no big deal. The cop is here, and it's like Shannon said to him, what are you going to do? If you're the guy who has to come and forcibly, or who is it going to be? It ain't going to be them that comes and forcibly removes me. Who's it going to be? And the cop is like, it's going to be me. And they just stood there looking at each other because this is real shit. These people around here, they ain't going. Here's this cop, and they're like, here, you go and carry out all these ordinances. Now you be the enforcer. This guy, he ain't going to be met with people who are like, oh, that's fine. It don't work that way. So I don't know what they are messing with.
Heavily armed hillbillies with bad attitudes and very short attention spans. So
anyway,
it's really not a good time for them to be trying to run around, especially all these stressed out guys with this stuff going on in the world right now. Man, half of these guys is hiding out or looking out their windows already. Well, go messing with them dudes if you want to. Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we were going to do just a kind of a random catch-up video just because, like, there's a lot happening for us right now. Like Shan said, we are just kind of sitting here because, you know, shit, do we even dare leave? And we've got some other shit that's going on too. And it feels very much like they have got a target on us that they're keeping an eye. They'd love to see us leave, but they're fucking with us right now because we were very passively leaving. Like, that's all we wanted, is to just be left alone. And all of a sudden, like, this is some bullshit. And Shannon and I have properties next to each other here in town too.
Yeah, all of this is supposed to be for people on all these ordinances are just residences, and nobody's residing here any damn way, so I could really care. It doesn't even apply. Hell, if I hadn't have gave them fuckers the water bill that I really didn't want to even pay for right now, we would have already been out of here. So right now we're just getting our money right to get gas and bounce on back down the road like we already planned. Not really going to get caught up in these hillbillies nonsense over here trying to be gangsters up at City Hall. I'm not really sure what they're on, but I don't really care. I mean, I'm not going to alter my overall life plans just because there's a bunch of gangsters in Diamond City trying to act like they're going to tell everybody what they can do. So I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing. And once we get back here next time, I guess I'll see if these people continue trying this nonsense or not. And I'll deal with it if I need to. But so far as I'm concerned, I just want to see them play their cards out, really.
Indeed. That is all. Thanks, you guys.